What if I told you that the greatest battles aren't waged in the physical world, but in the spiritual realm? In every corner of the world, across cultures and religions, people speak of a battle unseen by the human eye. This is a battle of the spiritual world, a struggle between good and evil, light and dark. It's a concept that's both intriguing and terrifying, one that has been woven into the fabric of our societies. One such battle is the practice of exorcism, the expulsion of malevolent spirits that have taken hold of a person's body and soul. It's a ritual that's been dramatized in popular culture, but few know the true stories that inspired these tales of horror. One such story is that of Roland Doe, a case that sent shockwaves through the world and still haunts those who dare to delve into the details. His was a battle that defied comprehension, a chilling testament to the unseen war. The story of Roland Doe is a chilling testament to this unseen war. Born into an ordinary family, Roland Doe's life was anything but ordinary. In the heart of an average American neighborhood, Roland Doe was born to a typical family. His early years were filled with the usual joys and trials of childhood, but as he grew older, life began to take an eerie turn. Roland developed a peculiar fascination with a seemingly innocent game, the Ouija board. Now, for most, this board is a harmless pastime, yet for Roland, it became an obsession. Under the watchful eye of his beloved aunt, he began to dabble in the mystical world of the Ouija, unaware of the consequences that lay ahead. Tragedy struck when his aunt, his guide into the spiritual world, passed away suddenly. It was a devastating blow to young Roland. The loss of his confidant triggered a chain of events that would forever alter the course of his life. Following his aunt's death, the Doe household experienced a series of inexplicable incidents. Sounds of strange knocks echoed through the halls, objects moved without reason, and an eerie chill seemed to permeate the very walls of the house. Even more disturbing was the change in Roland himself. Once a lively and cheerful boy, he became quiet and withdrawn, often found staring blankly into space. As the strange occurrences escalated, his parents sought help, hoping to find a logical explanation for the bizarre happenings. Yet, no matter where they turned, they were met with puzzled looks and shrugged shoulders. It seemed that no one could make sense of what was happening to their son, their home, their lives. The once ordinary family was now grappling with the extraordinary, their daily lives filled with fear and uncertainty. But as they would soon discover, these events were merely a prelude to a much darker chapter in their lives. The ordinary boy with an extraordinary fascination had unknowingly opened a door to a world beyond our own. But this was just the beginning. The real terror was yet to unfold. As days turned into weeks, the once peaceful Doe household was now a stage for inexplicable, terrifying events. The calm demeanor of young Roland had been replaced by a chilling presence, a darkness that seemed to cling to him like a shadow. Objects would fly off the shelves in his presence, furniture would inexplicably move, and strange, guttural voices echoed from the boy's mouth, speaking in languages he had never learned. The air around him pulsated with an unseen force, a malevolent energy that seemed to feed off the fear it instilled. Desperate and terrified, Roland's family sought help from the realm of medicine. Doctors, psychologists, and psychiatrists were consulted, all of whom were perplexed by the boy's condition. No diagnosis could be made, no treatment seemed to have any effect. The medical world had no answers for what was happening to Roland. Driven to the edge of despair, the family then turned to religious figures, hoping for a solution in the spiritual realm. The local priests were called upon, their faces paling as they witnessed the manifestations of this unseen force. Recognizing the signs of possession, they decided to perform an exorcism, an ancient rite designed to cast out evil spirits. The exorcism was a grueling process, filled with moments of sheer terror. As the priests began their rites, the room would turn unnaturally cold, and a sense of dread would fill the air. Roland would convulse violently, his body seemingly under the control of something else. The guttural voices became louder, more aggressive, spewing out vicious threats and vile insults. Despite the horrifying manifestations, the priests remained steadfast. They continued to recite the rites, their voices rising above the chaos, invoking the power of their faith to combat the darkness that had taken hold of Roland. In the face of such darkness, one could only wonder, would light ever return to Roland's life? The exorcism of Roland Doe was not an isolated event, but a ripple that echoed across time and space. In the aftermath of the exorcism, Roland's life returned to a semblance of normality. The demonic entity that had once gripped him had retreated, leaving behind a boy who was once again free to live his life. But the echoes of Roland's ordeal would resonate far beyond the confines of his personal experience. Despite the unimaginable ordeal, Roland was able to rebuild his life. He moved away, married, and lived a relatively quiet existence, shunning the spotlight that his past might have thrust upon him. His story, however, would not fade away as quietly. The ripples of Roland's case were felt throughout society, stirring conversations and debates about the existence of evil and the power of faith. It sparked a renewed interest in exorcism and the supernatural, with people seeking to understand the unexplainable. This fascination extended beyond the religious or spiritual realms, permeating the world of popular culture. The most notable impact of Roland's case was the creation of the iconic horror film, The Exorcist. Released in 1973, the film was inspired by Roland's story and took the world by storm. It chilled audiences worldwide, captivating and horrifying them in equal measure. The movie's depiction of a young girl possessed by a demonic entity mirrored Roland's ordeal, serving as a stark reminder of the real-life events that inspired it. The Exorcist had a profound impact on the horror genre, establishing a new benchmark for terror. It was not just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon that brought the topic of exorcism into the mainstream. The film's success underscored society's fascination with the supernatural, reflecting our collective curiosity about the unknown and our fear of the unseen. In the end, the exorcism of Roland Doe became more than a personal battle against demonic possession. It became a cultural touchstone, a chilling tale that continues to captivate and unsettle to this day. Roland Doe's story serves as a chilling reminder that the world we see is but a fraction of the realities that exist.